Contract performance, default, and AI risk analysis. Introduction. The contract is signed. Now the real work begins. Throughout this chapter, we have discussed offer analysis, counteroffers, and multiple offer situations. Once negotiations are complete and an agreement has been reached, many buyers and sellers believe the difficult part is over. In reality, the transaction is just beginning. A signed contract does not guarantee a successful closing. Every party now has responsibilities that must be completed according to the terms of the agreement. The buyer must perform. The seller must perform. The lender must perform. The title company must perform. The escrow company must perform. When everyone fulfills their obligations, the transaction usually moves smoothly toward closing. When someone fails to perform, problems can develop quickly. Artificial intelligence can help agents identify risks, monitor transaction progress, and create checklists that reduce the likelihood of problems. However, AI cannot force parties to perform, resolve disputes, or replace professional judgment. As with every topic we have covered, AI serves as an organizational tool, not a decision maker. Understanding contract performance. Once a contract has been accepted, both parties assume contractual obligations. The contract becomes a roadmap for the transaction. Every deadline, every contingency, every disclosure, every performance requirement. All of these obligations must be satisfied before closing can occur. One of the most important skills a real estate professional can develop is identifying potential performance problems before they become defaults. This is where risk management becomes essential. The earlier a problem is identified, the easier it is often to resolve. Buyer performance requirements. Buyers have numerous responsibilities after contract acceptance. Common buyer obligations may include depositing earnest money, applying for financing, providing lender documentation, conducting inspections, reviewing disclosures, reviewing title information, responding to contingency deadlines, completing final walkthroughs. Many transaction problems begin when buyers fail to complete one of these obligations on time. For example, a buyer may delay providing documentation to the lender, creating financing issues later in the transaction. Artificial intelligence can help organize buyer responsibilities into transaction checklists and reminder systems. The result is often improved communication and fewer missed deadlines. Seller performance requirements. Sellers also have important contractual responsibilities. Common seller obligations may include providing required disclosures, allowing property access, maintaining the property, completing agreed repairs, providing requested documentation, cooperating with escrow requirements, preparing for possession and closing. Sometimes sellers become so focused on moving that they overlook contractual obligations. AI-generated transaction checklists can help sellers stay organized and monitor progress throughout escrow. Understanding default provisions. Most contracts contain provisions addressing what happens when a party fails to perform. These are commonly referred to as default provisions. Default provisions exist because transactions do not always proceed as planned. Financing can fail. Repairs can become disputes. Deadlines can be missed. Parties can disagree. The Arizona Residential Resale Purchase Contract contains procedures designed to address these situations. Understanding these provisions helps agents identify potential risks before disputes escalate. Artificial intelligence can help summarize default-related procedures and organize transaction reviews, but it should never be relied upon to provide legal interpretations. Understanding cure notices. One of the most important concepts in contract performance involves cure procedures. A cure notice generally provides a party with an opportunity to correct a contractual issue before additional remedies may become available. Imagine a buyer misses a contractual obligation. The issue may not automatically terminate the transaction. Instead, the contract may provide procedures designed to address the problem and allow the transaction to move forward. Many disputes can be avoided when parties communicate early and address concerns before they become larger problems. AI can help create transaction monitoring systems that identify potential issues before cure procedures become necessary. Analyzing breach scenarios. Not every transaction challenge results in a breach. However, understanding common breach scenarios helps agents recognize risks. Examples may include failure to deposit earnest money, failure to close on time, failure to provide required disclosures, failure to complete agreed repairs, failure to satisfy financing obligations, failure to deliver possession as agreed. Artificial intelligence can help organize these situations into risk categories and create review checklists that encourage proactive management. The objective is not to predict disputes, The objective is to reduce the likelihood of disputes. Using AI to identify transaction risks. One of the most valuable uses of AI involves identifying areas that deserve additional attention. For example, create a transaction risk checklist for a residential resale transaction. The resulting checklist may include financing concerns, inspection issues, title review deadlines, disclosure requirements, possession concerns, closing milestones. This type of organization helps agents monitor transaction progress more effectively. The earlier risks are identified, the easier they often are to manage. Financing failure scenarios. Financing remains one of the most common reasons transactions encounter difficulties. A buyer may appear fully qualified at the beginning of the transaction and later experience employment changes, credit issues, documentation deficiencies, debt increases, underwriting concerns. Artificial intelligence can help organize financing risk reviews and create lender communication checklists. However, AI cannot determine whether financing will ultimately be approved. Communication with lenders remains essential. Inspection disputes. Inspection periods frequently create tension between buyers and sellers. Buyers may request repairs. Sellers may disagree. Contractors may offer differing opinions. Emotions often increase because both parties believe they are acting reasonably. AI can help organize inspection findings into categories such as safety concerns, major system defects, maintenance issues, cosmetic concerns. This type of organization often creates more productive discussions and helps parties focus on solutions rather than conflict. Possession disputes. Possession issues commonly arise near closing. Questions may include, when will the seller move out? Will possession occur at closing? Is a post-possession agreement needed? What happens if the property is not vacant? These situations may seem minor at the beginning of a transaction, but can become significant problems near closing. Artificial intelligence can help create possession planning checklists and identify issues that deserve early discussion. Many possession disputes can be avoided through proactive communication. Creating risk mitigation workflows. One of the best uses of AI is creating repeatable transaction management systems. A typical workflow might include contract acceptance, AI risk review, deadline calendar creation, buyer checklist creation, seller checklist creation, weekly transaction review, closing preparation checklist. This approach helps agents identify potential problems before they affect the transaction. The goal is prevention, not reaction. Professional responsibility and risk management. Arizona licenses remain responsible for protecting their clients' interests while dealing fairly with all parties under AAC R4-28-1101. Likewise, ARS Section 32-2153 provides disciplinary authority for conduct involving negligence, misrepresentation, or failure to fulfill professional responsibilities. Artificial intelligence does not change these obligations. Technology can improve organization. Technology can improve communication. Technology can improve efficiency. Technology cannot replace professional responsibility. The licensee remains accountable for the transaction. A successful transaction requires more than a signed contract. It requires performance. Buyers must fulfill their obligations. Sellers must fulfill their obligations. Deadlines must be monitored. Risks must be identified. Problems must be addressed quickly. Artificial intelligence provides powerful tools for organizing information, creating checklists, identifying potential concerns, and improving transaction management. When used properly, AI can help agents reduce risk and improve communication throughout escrow. However, AI should never be viewed as a substitute for professional oversight. The most successful agents understand that contracts do not fail because of technology. Contracts fail when performance problems go unnoticed. The key is identifying those risks early and managing them before they become disputes. Online discussion question 1. Why is contract performance important after a contract has been accepted? Answer. Contract performance ensures that both parties fulfill their obligations, allowing the transaction to move toward a successful closing. Question 2. How can AI help reduce transaction risks? Answer. AI can create checklists, organize deadlines, identify potential concerns, and improve communication throughout the transaction process. Question 3. What are some common causes of contract disputes? Answer. Financing failures, inspection disagreements, missed deadlines, disclosure issues, and possession disputes are common sources of transaction conflict.